How's it going, my super sandwiches? Toon Raider here. I'm bringing that old intro back. Anyway, today we're going to be breaking down the latest chapter of Dragon Ball Super, comparing it to the movie, what changes were made, if any, and then we're also going to be talking about some other pieces of information, some news. One piece of news and one piece of rumor that nobody will really believe. We'll have to wait to see. Anyways, this comparison video is going to be a bit shorter than the last video because the changes made in this chapter were a bit less substantial, but something still worth mentioning. Okay, so the first change from the movie was whenever Piccolo goes and picks up Pan, a cop stops them and questions them. He says, "Excuse me, sir, would this be your aircraft?" Piccolo says, "Yes, it is." Pan says, you can't park that here." And then the cop freaks out. He's like, "Oh, you're picking up Hercules' granddaughter. Never mind me. Carry on." And then Pan replies, "Sorry, mister. We'll take off in a minute." And then the cop says, "Safe travels." And then Pan says, "Whose ship is this?" And we get the scene from the movie. So if you saw my last video breaking down the drafts, this is in the drafts. All right, and perhaps the most substantial change is the integration of the superhero prequel arc, and we'll see that throughout the rest of the video. So of course in the movie we didn't have the superhero prequel arc with Goten and Trunks. So in the movie, this poster or this billboard was of a woman advertising something. I'm not exactly sure what it's meant to be, but you can take a guess. This time though, when Piccolo and his poor driving skills take effect, and he drives straight through a billboard, we see a Clean God 2 movie billboard. So advertising the new movie Clean God 2. Which still yet, I believe, is an interesting name. I don't exactly get it, but, it is what it is. So he destroys the Clean God 2 poster, or billboard in this. And that's, again, some integration of the Dragon Ball Super prequel arc manga. Alright, and when the Red Ribbon Army is gathered and they're waiting for Gohan, in the movie, Gamma 2 is behind Magenta, Carmine, and Hedo. In the manga, he's standing beside Gamma 1. Alright, and the last big change that I want to talk about, and this is the most substantial, Hedo immediately recognizes Gohan's Super Saiyan form as him being an alien because of his experience in the prequel arc of Dragon Ball Superhero. And let's just go ahead and grab the exact quote that Hedo says, because that's the most notable one here. We see Gohan turning into a Super Saiyan just before he throws away his glasses. And then Hedo says, "I've witnessed that transformation before. They must be aliens after all." So that's him referencing all of the Capsule Corp villains from his perspective. That's also him referencing Goten and Trunks. So I want to speculate real quick on what this could mean for the future. So, one thing that I want to say, and this is the most important part, is are we going to see Goten and Trunks as Saiyaman X1 and Saiyaman X2 in the adaptation arc? Now, let's refer back to the last chapter, and let's get an exact quote from Trunks, because in the last chapter, we did see Trunks. Alright, and we have the exact quote here, the exact encounter. So, when we saw Trunks, he did mention, quote, "Yo, Goten, Piccolo was just at my place, and I got a feeling something big is going down." Goten said, "Yeah, you mean it?" And then Trunks said, "Get your butt over here, dude." Goten was like, "I can't, I'm grounded." Trunks was like, "Just say we're gonna have a study session or whatever." Goten says he'll make it work. Trunks says, "Cool, see you soon." And then he also says, "Don't forget your transformation watch." So here is a change that I'm predicting for the next chapter, or whatever chapter Goten and Trunks show up. I am here to officially predict that once we get to that part in the chapter, and Goten and Trunks show up, instead of them showing up in their regular clothes like they did in the movie, and they are failing to turn Super Saiyan and everything like that, and they fuse into Fat Gotenks, what if they do a big change and we get Saiyaman X1 and 2, their identities are revealed, they both turn Super Saiyan, and then we get Super Saiyan Gotenks? That is a big what if. They probably won't go and do all that. That's just my pie in the sky theory. But my more realistic theory to start us off is that it's possible we do get Goten and Trunks in their Saiyaman X 1 and 2 outfits. Also in the news, the PUBG and Dragon Ball event crossover collaboration is supposed to be happening July. Now, if you're like me, you don't play PUBG, and this has nothing to do with you. But on the off chance that you do play PUBG, there's a Dragon Ball PUBG collaboration that's going down in July. What exactly does that mean? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Our final story of the day is the rumor that Dragon Ball Super is going to return in 2024. Now, how reliable is this rumor? Well, let's just say we hear stuff like this all the time. This person has apparently correctly leaked stuff before, but there's also the case of it also kind of being like, okay, is this legit, or are they just getting other scoops and other information and just trying to use it to reinforce their own reputation? That way people will believe their Dragon Ball Super 2024 report, if you will. So that's something that we'll have to monitor actively. I guess we'll eventually find out if Dragon Ball Super returns in 2024. I know a ton of people want to believe this, but I'm definitely taking this with a grain of salt, just like every rumor. All right, the video is pretty much over now. Here's a little bit of a channel update for you guys. If you'll notice, this video is a little late, and that's because at this point in the Dragon Ball manga hype cycle, it's not necessarily exciting, and it's not really got me stoked. So I've decided to start another channel. That's the Toon Raider Variety Hour. Now on that channel, I will have my first video up of the Flash movie review. That's just me going on for about 40 minutes reviewing The Flash. That's going to be a podcast channel where I talk about a variety of topics. Sometimes I'll talk about DC Comics, Star Wars, Marvel, some movies, TV shows, whatever I feel like. So if you feel like seeing me talk about things other than Dragon Ball, you can go ahead and subscribe to that channel. And now that's because Dragon Ball is not really exciting that much. I'll still be making Dragon Ball videos, but until we get out of this little rut, I'm also going to try to make other videos on that other channel. Thanks for watching. Peace off.